Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love Island UK Season 12, Episodes 16 and 17.
We need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
So Emily, Helena, Dejon, and Romel went to the sleepover.
Yeah.
At the villa, the Islanders can see where the other villa, where they're at, is lit up.
Mm-hmm.
And they now have to, Meg is worried.
Okay.
Alima's nervous.
Mm-hmm.
A girl might just give Romel everything he wants and leave her. And Connor doesn't think it's the best time when Emily and him are going through what they're going through.
What is my sister from another Mr. name again?
Alima.
Alima. You think she got a little self-esteem issues?
I don't think it's self-esteem issues. I think just she was nervous, just like everyone else was nervous about, except for Connor. The person, and nobody was worried about Helena, going over to the sleepover. I think that with Alima, it's, you know how, I hate to say it like this.
Say it.
Like, you know how sometimes women talk about, oh, I'm the prize, I'm this, I'm that, and they set themselves so much above the man to where it's like you want the man to chase you, to where it's not like you're actually getting to know each other to see if this could be a good partnership.
Yeah.
It's now a treat me like the queen and the princess I am. And now that he's over there and a girl might actually get to know him, she's feeling a little bit nervous because she's been trying to make him work. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I view it.
Besides being a full participant in the Love Island experience and exploring and things of that nature.
Right.
And this is not only tailored to Alima. I think a lot of girls fall into this trap on this show.
Yeah.
And things of that nature. But yeah, I was wondering, like, basically, like, I wonder how her self-esteem is, because even though, like, we don't see them, they don't get a lot of camera time, but even when I saw him over there in the sleepover island or villa, things like that, I'm like, you don't really talk about nothing with, like, this new girl either. So it's like,
yeah.
I wonder what y'all talk about, but let's keep going.
So we've got Giorgio, Poppy, Caprice, and Will.
Yeah.
And they, the Islanders are filling them in on what their situation has been in the villa. So back at the villa, Harry and Shakira are on the terrace. Shakira ends up telling Harry about Megan's sexual chemistry with Connor and not Tommy. Connor would pick Megan if they were recoupled, and she also tells him about the leg rubbing situation. Shakira thinks that Connor and Megan should give it a go.
Shakira, I like you being a secret agent of chaos. I love it.
So Connor and Megan end up talking. They're having strong eye contact. And Megan says, just feeling like Tommy seems more boyfriend material. But Connor tells her, I've got that in me too. Just wait and see. So we've got Shay, Tommy, and Meg. Tommy doesn't think Connor's been respectful with how he's going about things. Then Harry ends up pulling Tommy for a chat to basically fill him in on everything that Shakira said.
Okay. And Tommy, he said he feel like he doesn't feel like Connor been disrespectful in basically the way he's been moving.
Yeah.
And Tommy is talking to Connor.
No, he was talking to Shay and Meg. Never talking to the culprit.
Listen here, your days are numbered, man. I have a saying that I said last season, and I say it again: get the boys off the island. Here's the thing about it: she feels like your boyfriend material, but just not her boyfriend. See, you gotta listen to what women say, and mainly what they don't say, right? When they say things like, I don't want to break his heart and things like that, basically, I don't want to be responsible and be viewed as the bad guy for breaking Tommy's heart. And
She's
things
calling
like that.
you soft.
Yes, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So this whole thing of boyfriend material basically meaning like you're just a good boy and you a mama's boy potentially, but I don't want a mama's boy. I want a dog. I don't want a mutt. You get what I'm saying? And right now, Connor just basically leading with his masculinity, to be honest. Listen here, we need to get back to a time, not toxic masculinity, but we need to get back to a point where men be men, and this whole idea to where, Tommy, you need to stop talking about what Connor is doing behind Connor's back, talking to other people besides Connor, and talk to Connor and say, hey, I don't like the way that you are touching my lady, besides making it seem like he's disrespecting women in the way he moves. Like, no, it's weak.
Yeah. So Connor and Tommy finally talk, but because it's Connor who actually approaches Tommy because Tommy's been talking to everybody except for him. Tommy gets that everyone's open and he thinks Connor's gone about things disrespectful.
Okay.
Megan said that you touched her thigh, and if Emily's your number one priority, then why would you say you would choose Megan? Connor said that he would choose Megan so that way they can get to know each other more on a different level because Tommy is able to cuddle her, kiss her, all these different things, and Connor doesn't have the access to her to get to know her in that way.
Yeah.
And Tommy tells him, well, you didn't tell me you wanted to get to know Meg, and you said that you would approach a guy and let him know, or we should do that as guys on the villa if that's what we want to do. And Connor's like, I don't have to get your permission. I told you I talked to her after I talked to her. And, you know, he also was saying, and Tommy just feels like, so disrespect has to be there then with you trying to get to know her.
Ooh, what are your thoughts as a woman?
Yeah, I think that Tommy is just being a little boy about it. I mean, you're on Love Island. Yeah. And I get that with the UK, respect is a big thing, but I think that people move the line when it comes to respect and getting to know each other. I feel like you can get to know each other by talking. You can also get to know each other by touching and even kissing if the people involved feel comfortable doing that. Yeah. You as the one outside of the connection don't get to dictate how they get to know each other. You can determine what is too much for you to where you want to excuse yourself from the connection, but you can't be all up in their business telling him or her what's disrespectful when she's getting her legs rubbed on and keeping her legs there so they can get rubbed on.
Especially since I approached you, Tommy, to have this conversation. Yeah. It's not like you came and like said, come here, Connor, let me talk to you. You see, now this kind of make me think in a way, unfortunately, while I was watching the scene, it made me think of Shay, to be honest. And I was like, Shay, how weak do you have to be checked by Tommy? You get what I'm saying? To where you got to come back the next day and all three of y'all got to apologize to each other. Connor is not that type of guy. He's like, listen here, you're trying to bring up this whole leg disrespectful thing. She didn't say that to me. Right. No, she didn't. Actually, she said we have sexual chemistry, right? Whole time you trying to speak for her, but yet you're not really trying to tell me how you feel. Oh, you feel like it's disrespectful? Oh, I don't owe you anything. Now what? Pretty much. Pretty much. That's pretty much how the conversation went. And Tommy was like, well, I see you go about this disrespectfully. I am. Let's continue. So Tommy then talks to Megan and he mentions to her the disrespect he's feeling is going on and also feeling like Connor was lying to Emily about her being in the top when he said that he wanted to choose Megan for who he wanted to be with, and he's just saying respect would be nice. And he also mentions how Megan said she had more sexual chemistry with Connor. Harry said you were blushing when Connor said that he wanted to choose you to recouple up with, and Megan tells him, you know, there is more sexual tension with Connor. He is more vocal sexually, and if I did blush, what would it matter to you? Now you getting punked by like your own girl. And Tommy's like, well, because we're in a couple, and he's like, I'm just telling you what I heard. No, you're not just telling her what you heard. You're trying to hold her accountable to move differently. Exactly. But when she tells you it's not disrespectful, I'm getting to know him, and this is the way I'm getting to know him, then what else is there to do other than say, I'm just telling you what I heard? Nothing. Okay, now what? Exactly. Now what? And you don't need to tell her what you heard because she was there. And she was telling you what happened too. So that's why I don't really even understand why you're having this conversation. Oh, I just feel bad for Emily. I'm like, why is Emily your concern? I'm sorry. Listen here. Tommy need to go. I'm sorry. I seen enough. Yeah. Tommy needs to go. Yeah. So we get to Megan and Shakira. Okay. And Megan is asking Shakira, did you tell Harry I was blushing over Connor? And Shakira said no, because Shakira did not say that. No, she didn't. Megan's also frustrated with why Tommy would believe Harry, of all people, over her. That's true. Helena and Giorgio talk and laugh and getting to know each other. Caprice and Dejon talk, and they're both family-oriented people, and she feels like she can make him turn his head. He thinks that, you know, there could be something between them. Emily and Will talk, and he likes how she carries herself. He wants a best friend he's attracted to and who shares the same interests. And she likes doing things with her partner, so opposites definitely do not attract when it comes to her. Romel and Poppy are talking, and he is just a very chatty man. He's a chatty patty over there with her. Yeah, he's holding her hand, talking about he hasn't been occupied in the villa. He needs somebody to occupy him, and she's saying that she could be the one.
I don't see it. Poppy could be a very cool girl. Poppy don't say much.
No, she don't.
And I don't really see how Romel is really, getting his, rocks off or whatever with Poppy and not Alima, when honestly, I feel like Alima has a little bit more personality than Poppy. I don't know.
Here's the thing. This wasn't about personality. This was
preference.
How far can I get in these few days, right? Meaning, like, how open are you? Basically, can I crack this in the few days that I have? And I think something happened between this conversation and from the time they kissed, from the time where he had to make a decision to where he was like, okay, like, it is what it is. Like, I think he's putting it on thick right now because he's just lusting right now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So back at the villa, Alima tells Toni and Yasmin that she does like Romel more than she's been putting on, but she does have a one strike rule only. If someone takes her man, he wasn't her man to begin with.
You see what I mean? If you ain't willing to fight, then don't get in the ring.
And that's my thing too. They've said this a few times within the past couple of episodes, and I was just getting frustrated more and more every time I heard it, because that's not your man.
No, it's not.
Y'all are getting to know people, and you should be able to get to know people as well. Unfortunately, these men, I guess Alima's not their type. I wish there would be more people who would find Alima as their type in the villa, so she could get to explore and have her own type of Love Island experience as well. But yeah, I'm not into the whole your partner leaves, so now you know that you actually like them. Have you been getting to know them, or have you been having them trying to chase you the whole time?
Facts.
So Dejon is feeding Caprice grapes.
Okay.
They're talking about which bikini she'll wear tomorrow. And Megan is asking why Harry said that she got giddy. Harry said that he was trying to look out for his mate, and she tells him not to get involved. Megan is telling Tommy that she's pissed. This is while they're in bed, because he believed Harry over her. And he's talking about, well, I didn't really believe him over you, and all this type of stuff. And she's just like, it's too late for you to be saying that. She turns around and he ends up leaving the bedroom.
Here's the thing about it, right? Both of them are wrong. Tommy is wrong for being sensitive, and Megan is wrong because she's trying to split hairs here. She's trying to basically trying to do semantics here. You was giddy. Like, basically, like, you like talking to Connor. That's why you keep talking to Connor and things of that nature. So I think you don't want to be viewed as, and I understand that, hey, you want to be given the opportunity to tell your version of the story to Tommy. It just so happens that Harry just so happens to tell the truth before you so happen to write your story. Because I'm sure in your story you wasn't going to say I was giddy and blushing when he said that.
Right.
But it's the fact that this is the raw truth, and now it kind of make you look a little loose out there and things of that nature. And truth be told, it don't make you look loose to me because you're open, but I guess with UK rules, and you get what I'm saying, it make you look a little fast and whatever, that, it make you look easy. And I'm just like, hey, do you like Tommy or not?
Yeah.
And the more and more you talk about it, the more and more, because we saw her talking about it in like the makeup room and things like that, I feel like you're not liking Tommy more, because at the end of the day, you want a dog and you don't want a mutt. You get what I'm saying?
And I honestly feel like when it comes to Megan, if I could give her any little piece of advice, is that she could stand to be a little more graceful.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I mean, if he's approaching you about these situations and these ways that he's feeling, if you actually do care for the guy, you could tell him like, hey, I know I'm exploring this. I'm sure it's uncomfortable for you, but I do want to still get to know the both of you.
Yeah.
You know, and because he talked about needing reassurance later on in the episode, and do I find that to be annoying a little bit? Yes. But he's not wrong for being in a couple with somebody. She's saying that she still wants to get to know him, and then when he brings up concerns, she totally closes the door on him.
That's not fair.
Like, that's not fair. That's not fair. Yeah. So Tommy is talking to Ben, and he doesn't like hearing that things are going on well with Connor and Megan. He does believe her, but Megan told him it was too late for that, and he was just put off by her response last night. He ends up crying. The guys are having to hold him. Harry's holding him, and he felt like he's been caring. Now it's as if he's done something wrong.
Did you feel bad about Tommy crying?
I didn't feel bad about Tommy crying. And the reason I didn't feel bad about it is because Tommy isn't really listening.
Okay, that's true.
You know, because Tommy is more concerned that his connection is falling apart rather than the fact that he's on Love Island and he needs to get them moving. Mm-hmm. And don't get to know Emily because Emily's freed up. Who here do you like?
He like Megan.
Who else do you want to talk to?
He want to talk to Megan.
Oh, my gosh.
Here's the thing about it, right? No, I do not feel bad that Tommy is crying, but I will say this, though. There is something to what Blair said just a couple minutes ago. That, hey, if he have real concerns about his emotions, we just can't sweep him under the rug.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we seen the girls cry over nothing, literally, all the way up to this point.
Yeah.
Every episode, a girl's going to be crying about something. So the one time that Tommy cried, even though I've been calling him a boy, the one time that he cries out of all the episodes that has been recorded and things like that, I'm going to give him a little bail out of jail, right? It is a experiment, a social experiment that can probably feel very intense at certain points. And he probably just feel unheard. You know, now he feels like he's the bad guy, and it just feels like Megan, every time he talks to Megan, Megan is basically saying, I like Connor, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like
pretty much.
It just feels that way. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So Helena and Giorgio are just talking about how she would be attracted to him on the outside.
Yeah.
Dejon is still feeding Capri some fruit, just in a different location. And she would have liked some cuddles last night. And he tells her that the initial attraction was there when he saw her.
Yeah.
Emily and Will, all I learned is that Will grew up on a farm.
Okay.
Poppy and Romel, she enjoyed their cuddles last night, and he's liking how she's looking.
Okay.
So back at the villa with Megan and Harry, Harry only said what he said to Tommy to relay information, and Megan's been telling Harry about all her conversations in order to keep things respectful.
Okay.
Harry sees, Tommy's crying, and it's not that he's believing him over you. It was just basically Harry saying it wasn't my intention to stir up drama. So Harry and Megan are friends again.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So Connor and Megan are talking. He asks her who she would couple with right now. They're talking on the terrace. And she says, honestly, I'm upset with Tommy. So Connor, I would couple up with you, if I'm being honest. So they talk about, getting to know each other some more. And they end up kissing twice.
Wow.
2 times. And I'm not mad at it, honestly. I think the only thing that's a little bit salty about it is you're doing this. I know it's not out of spite.
It is,
but it feels out of spite. Like you're trying to prove something to Tommy, and
it is out of spite.
Yeah, I guess it is out of spite.
No, it's 100.
Because I'm like, you could have kissed Connor any
other time, and you did not have to preface it to, well, I'm feeling you now because I'm raging towards Tommy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm learning my UK lingo. Give me some respect.
Good job.
Don't mug me, right? Or don't make me look mug. The thing about it is, it was 100% out of spite. And here's my thought right now. I think because it is packaged the way that she just did it, I think she has fell in the ranks of favorites in the show. I don't think she was that high. But I think you made Tommy a figure for us to feel sorry for, like officially. At first, we can be like, hey, she's open. But now it's kind of like, you know what? I'm mad at Tommy, and you know what? I'm feeling you because I'm mad at him, and then you kiss him twice. And then it was like kind of like sneaky and things of that nature. So I think in this moment, you made Tommy something or someone for us to feel sorry for, and that could kind of ruin your game, in my opinion.
So Tommy, he's moping around.
Of course.
And he's talking to Meg. Alima ended up getting up. She wasn't trying to hear it. But Tommy tells her, I just kind of needed a little bit of reassurance. She kind of flipped out on me, and Meg tells Tommy, let Connor crack on. So Helena's feeling Giorgio, but she didn't have the initial spark that she had with Harry with Giorgio.
Because she missed Harry.
Yeah. And I'm like, Helena, he does not take you seriously. I wish you would lose the loyalty to Harry. But Harry's for everybody.
But here's the thing about it. We can't say what Harry feels, because what he feels today may be different than what he feels tomorrow.
And the next day and the
next day. So guess what? He may not take us serious now because he's, with Shakira. But at the end of the day, he may feel like taking her seriously tomorrow.
Okay.
We don't know.
Emily knows that if she goes back and Connor is still wishy-washy, she is moving on.
Okay.
Megan tells Meg that she kissed Connor. Romel still has alima at his top, but with her being a slow burn, it won't take much for Poppy to change his mind. He's a touchy-feely kind of guy.
You see what I mean? It's all about sex. And if Poppy wasn't coming off that sex, then guess what? I'm going back to where I might as well go back to the girl that I'm not getting sex from anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So the villa gets a text. They get a video. We see Emily saying that she's not closed off. Romel asking Poppy if she can occupy his time because he has not been occupied in the villa.
Wow.
And Dejon thinking that this could be something with Caprice. Meg is upset. We already knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. But I think here's the thing. I think after a while, like, Meg is upset, but at the same time, she says something in this episode, I think it was, where she was like, we kind of know how Dejon dates.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, she's not surprised. She just upset because it's almost like, you know what, I'm gonna put up theater for right now. But at the end of the day, she knows that Dejon can't face her face to face and actually like make a real decision for himself. So that's why she's just like, it is what it is.
Yeah, so we move on to episode 17. Alima's crying about Romel saying he's unoccupied, and Dejon was saying that it's nice to get to know someone without Meg breathing down his neck.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we gotta go to a whole nother location. you gotta go back to the villa eventually.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So at the sleepover, they play Truth or Dare. Romel ends up kissing Poppy as the islander of his choice that he wanted to kiss. Helena does her fave sex position with Giorgio. Romel tells us he would couple up with Poppy if he had the chance right now because he feels like he hasn't able to fully be himself with Alima. Poppy kisses Dejon as the guy she's most attracted to other than the one that she chose, and Dejon made out with Caprice for 15 seconds.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Just a little challenge here and there.
Yeah, just a little challenge. Helena and Giorgio are kissing. Romel and Poppy, he's talking about how he knows his worth. Okay, because he's had enough of hearing about Alima's worth.
Pretty much.
So now he gets to talk about his worth to what's her name, Poppy. So he's not sure about Alima's slow burn situation, and you know, he's talking about how he's enjoying getting to know her, and she's talking about, you know, she's shy, she's nervous, but they get to kissing and he gets to grabbing on the booty. Y'all.
And right then and there, I was like, yeah, you're not getting none, Romel.
Yeah.
The fact that she said she's shy, she's nervous and things like that. I want you to like me for me and things of that nature. I'm like, y'all don't really talk about nothing. And this whole touchy feeling, I know you are that type of guy and you wanted to have a little fun while, like, you know, your girl is over at the villa, but you're not going to get it from this girl. So you might as well just come back home and just, you know, let her be the prize again.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing different that he sees in Poppy, I feel like, because Poppy isn't really saying much.
Not at all.
The only thing that she's doing is letting him rub all on her and kiss all on her.
Pretty much.
So so I'm not seeing this connection that Romel speaks of. You know, he's just having a good time. I think this is his first time to actually explore. Megan is realizing how much there is something there with Connor, and Connor thinks that Megan is rising in his rankings to the top.
Okay.
They get to waving at each other across the villa, y'all, and Tommy's looking sick.
Man, listen here. I don't know if they go have sex on this show. I don't even know if that's allowed anymore on like UK, Love Island UK. But something's going to happen with these two. The fact that they are literally across the villa and they waving at each other, oh yeah, the lust is up there. Yeah. It's up there.
Yeah. So finally, Megan pulls Tommy to tell him that she kissed Connor. At first, they're just talking about how she's open to explore her connections.
Yeah.
He told her that he thinks he deserves an apology, and she doesn't see what he needs an apology for. She tells him, we're just not going to agree on this. She throws it out there that she kissed Connor, and she says, good chat, good luck, essentially.
Do you think, I always have this theory when it comes to people, I think people in general, not just men and definitely not just women, they want to feel desired, right? So the fact that Tommy felt like he had the girl, and he probably, you know, like the little boy that he is, he did not make her feel desired because I got the girl. Do you think it's fair for her to feel that way? Of course, she's not going to say it because in this moment, I don't think she really know what it is outside of like, you know what? I just feel more sexual chemistry with Connor.
Yeah.
Because Connor could just be like, you know what? I like you and I want you. You know what I mean? To where that's very different than Tommy saying, I have you. That's very different. Even Connor is trying to tell Tommy, I think it was last episode, to where he's like, yo, I'm over here just trying to explore. You get to go to bed with her every night. Basically saying, are you capitalizing on the time you have with her? Because you have her the most.
That's the point.
You get what I'm saying?
That is the major sticking point.
I'm over here with getting a little 5 minutes here, 10 minutes, if that, but you are with her the most. Are you capitalizing on the times you have with her?
Yeah. And my answer would be no.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, he didn't even try to compete when it came to this girl's attention. He just was defeated. And don't get me wrong, it's very easy to get defeated. That's a normal emotion. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But at some point, it would have been nice to see Tommy bounce back and fight for his girl.
Yeah.
But the boy ain't got no fight in him.
No, he don't got no fight in him.
So Tommy tells the guys that he's done with Megan. And Megan and Connor end up talking and going to talk to each other. And he's like, look, she's loving the attention. I can picture my mom saying, don't bring her home. Goodness.
Do you know what I mean?
So Megan fills Connor in on everything that went down with Tommy. And he knows that he's going to have to deal with Emily when she gets back and break the news to her. So
they are both hoping that Emily found a connection in the sleepover,
so they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now Connor goes to talk to Tommy, and because of what happened, you know, he's just letting him know, look, man, I'm not going to be all in your face trying to be buddy and bro with you. I'm gonna, you know, give you some time. And Tommy tells him, look, if something that small pushes me and Megan away from each other, then we weren't to be together anyway. And it's like, was it that small? Because you didn't act like it was that small.
You wanted an apology.
You act like he took your girl before he even took your girl.
Facts.
And even the fact that wasn't really your girl.
Facts.
So Romel likes the instant sexual chemistry with Poppy, and it's just slowly growing with Alima. Dejon says that Caprice isn't his Meg, and he misses her.
Here's the thing about Romel. Romel is going to dump Alima eventually. So everybody who's a fan of Alima, I'm just preparing y'all for it. Poppy wasn't going to pop it for him in this short period of time. Alima is going to come back, and guess what? He going to try to get her to pop it. She ain't going to be that type of girl, as far as I know, on this show, right? So he is relying strictly on bombshells to come in, like someone like a Yasmin or something like that, to basically be sexual. Because now, can you understand, it's not only the conversation that they are having with themselves that they hear, I mean, of course, but they hearing other conversations. So whole time he's hearing Yasmin and Toni, and whoa. There's conversation about threesomes going on over here.
Flipping it, dipping it, rubbing it, all that.
And whole time, he's looking at his girl, Alima, and she's like, I'm the queen. I'm the princess. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, but they talking about I'm trying to join that conversation. So I think with Romel, I think his mask slip off during this time, that he just looking for some type of physical exercise during this whole Love Island experience.
Yes, for sure. Now it's bedtime. Tommy sleeps outside. It's the next day, and Tommy's ready to start a new chapter in his experience. Emily is missing her romantic connection with Connor, and Helena can't stop thinking about Harry.
Of course not.
Now Megan and Toni get to talking because Meg is Tommy's friend and her friend, so she just needed an outside person to talk to. And she's like, look, I haven't cut things off with Tommy officially. She doesn't even know if she really wants to. Connor's been making her breakfast. He's making all the right steps, and she's wondering if things with Connor will change when Emily ends up coming back.
Only if she come back with somebody else.
Yeah, because that might give him the kick up the behind.
Maybe.
Otherwise,
no,
he's gonna do what he want to do. And Toni was pretty much telling her, you haven't done anything wrong, have your experience, do it the way that you want to do it. Pretty much. So Maya Jama arrives at the sleepover. Helena, Dejon, Emily, and Romel have the choice to stay in their current couple or get in a new couple with their partner in the sleepover. So the villa at the same time is getting text updates for if they choose to recouple or to stay into their current couples. So Helena recouples with Giorgio. Emily stays in her couple with Connor. Megan and him were kind of looking at each other like, dang. Dejon stays with Meg. Of course, she was over the moon. And Romel stayed in his couple with Alima. Shay has been dumped from the island.
Oh, man. Shay, I forgot you was here.
And I will say this. I think if it was more of them who were left single, they wouldn't have been dumped. But I think, Shay, you had your run.
Yeah, you had your run, buddy.
Yeah.
How was your feelings on this episode, Blair, about Tommy and us having basically to coddle him this whole episode?
Oh my goodness, it was too Tommy heavy for me.
Yeah, very
it was
Tommy
very
heavy.
Tommy heavy. It was a lot going on, so I will say I was entertained, but after a while, I'm like, how many times are we going to talk about open versus not open, disrespect versus respect, and Tommy talking about how he needs reassurance? I'm like, please.
And that's
something
the problem,
else.
because we had a good weekend this past weekend, so we fell behind. So we had to watch the episodes in bulk, like 2 at a time, and it did feel like one long episode of Tommy crying.
Yes,
that's basically it. But now we all caught up, so
yeah.
now we only gotta deal with it for 45 to 55 minutes of Tommy crying. And guess what? We be back tomorrow with the rest of Love Island UK.
Bye.